Sunny Meadows retirement home was a bright and cheerful place. Sunlight streamed through the big windows, and colorful paintings made by the residents hung on the walls. It smelled of warm cookies and gentle flowers. Mrs. Gable, a sweet woman with twinkling eyes and a kind smile, loved living there. She enjoyed playing bingo, chatting with her friends, and tending to the small garden outside her window. But most of all, Mrs. Gable loved her ring. It wasn't just any ring, it was an heirloom, passed down through generations of her family. The gold band was smooth and worn from years of love, and a small, sparkling blue stone sat in the center, like a tiny piece of the summer sky. It reminded her of her grandmother, who had given it to her when she was a little girl. Her grandmother told her the ring would bring her good luck and remind her of her family's love, always. Mrs. Gable always wore it, a constant reminder of home and happiness. It made her feel safe and connected to her past. Every morning, Mrs. Gable would carefully polish the ring with a soft cloth, making sure it sparkled just right. She'd tell it stories about her day, about the funny things that happened at bingo, or the new flowers blooming in her garden. It was her little secret, her special connection to her family's history. One sunny afternoon, after a particularly lively game of bingo, Mrs. Gable went back to her room. She always took her ring off when she gardened, as the soil could scratch the stone. She placed it in its usual spot, a small velvet box on her bedside table. But today, something was wrong. The box was empty. Panic fluttered in her chest like a trapped bird. She rummaged through her jewelry box, checked under her pillow, and even looked in her slippers, but the ring was nowhere to be found. Her heart began to race. This wasn't just any missing object, it was a piece of her family, a precious connection to her past. Tears welled up in her eyes. The thought of losing it forever was unbearable. She had to find it. She took a deep breath, trying to calm herself, and decided to report it missing to the staff. She knew they would help her. With a trembling voice, Mrs. Gable told the head nurse, Mrs. Peterson, about the missing ring. Mrs. Peterson was a tall woman with a warm smile and a comforting presence. She listened patiently, her brow furrowing with concern as Mrs. Gable described the ring and its sentimental value. "Oh, dear, Mrs. Gable, I'm so sorry to hear that," Mrs. Peterson said, her voice full of sympathy. "Don't you worry, we'll do everything we can to find it. It's probably just misplaced. Let's retrace your steps and see if we can find any clues." Together, they went back to Mrs. Gable's room and searched again, this time more thoroughly. They looked under the rug, behind the curtains, and even inside the cookie jar, though Mrs. Gable chuckled, admitting she hadn't put it there. But the ring was still nowhere to be seen. Mrs. Peterson then spoke to the other staff members, alerting them to the missing ring and asking them to keep an eye out. The news spread quickly through Sunny Meadows. Everyone knew how much Mrs. Gable loved her ring, and they were all eager to help find it. The kitchen staff looked around the dining hall, the cleaning crew checked under the furniture in the common areas, and even the activities director, Mr. Johnson, asked the bingo players if they had seen anything. Sunny Meadows became a hive of activity, everyone focused on the same goal, finding Mrs. Gable's precious ring. As the hours passed and the ring remained missing, Mrs. Gable grew increasingly worried. The initial hope that it was simply misplaced began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of unease. What if it had been stolen? The thought sent a shiver down her spine. She trusted the staff at Sunny Meadows, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Meanwhile, Mrs. Peterson, despite her best efforts, was also starting to feel concerned. She knew how important the ring was to Mrs. Gable, and she was determined to find it. She decided to take the matter to the retirement home's manager, Mr. Thompson, to discuss the next steps. They both understood the delicate nature of the situation and knew they had to proceed carefully to avoid upsetting the residents or unfairly accusing anyone. The mystery of the missing ring was just beginning, and everyone at Sunny Meadows felt the weight of it. The next morning, the atmosphere at Sunny Meadows was heavy with suspicion. The joy and light-heartedness that usually filled the air were replaced by hushed whispers and worried glances. Mr. Thompson, the manager, addressed the staff, urging them to be understanding and patient. He emphasized the importance of finding the ring, but also cautioned against making accusations without proof. However, despite Mr. Thompson's plea for calm, some residents and even a few staff members began to point fingers. The kitchen helper, Maria, noticed that one of the cleaning ladies, a young woman named Emily, had been acting strangely quiet lately. Emily usually chatted happily while she worked, but for the past few days, she had been withdrawn and avoided eye contact. Maria shared her observations with a group of residents during breakfast, and the rumor mill started churning. The whispers soon reached Mrs. Gable, who, despite her best intentions, couldn't help but feel a flicker of suspicion towards Emily. She remembered seeing Emily cleaning her room the day before the ring went missing. The thought made her stomach clench. She didn't want to believe that Emily, or anyone at Sunny Meadows, would steal from her, but the evidence seemed to be mounting. Meanwhile, Emily was completely unaware of the suspicions swirling around her. She had been feeling down lately because her grandmother was sick, and she was worried about her. The stress had made her quiet and preoccupied, but she had nothing to do with the missing ring. The tension at Sunny Meadows continued to escalate. Some residents started hiding their valuables, and others avoided certain staff members, creating a palpable sense of distrust. Mrs. Peterson, seeing the damage the accusations were causing, decided to take action. She knew that they needed to find the ring quickly, not only to return it to Mrs. Gable but also to restore peace and harmony to Sunny Meadows. She suggested to Mr. Thompson that they consider installing security cameras in the common areas, hoping to catch a glimpse of the culprit and put an end to the rumors once and for all. The idea was met with mixed reactions, but everyone agreed that something had to be done to clear the air and find Mrs. Gable's precious ring. Sarah, a kind and dedicated nurse at Sunny Meadows, felt a pang of sadness as she overheard the whispers about the missing ring. She had worked at the retirement home for 5 years and loved her job. Caring for the residents was more than just a job to her, it was a calling. She treated each resident with respect and compassion, always going the extra mile to make them feel comfortable and happy. The thought that someone might suspect her of stealing Mrs. Gable's ring was deeply hurtful. She would never dream of taking something that belonged to someone else, especially something as precious and meaningful as Mrs. Gable's heirloom. She had often admired the ring when helping Mrs. Gable with her medication or simply chatting with her in her room. As the rumors intensified, Sarah noticed that some of the residents were avoiding her. They would avert their eyes when she walked by or quickly change the subject when she tried to engage in conversation. The feeling of isolation was crushing. She felt like she was being judged and condemned without any evidence. One afternoon, while Sarah was helping Mrs. Peterson with the medication distribution, Mrs. Gable approached them. Sarah braced herself, unsure of what to expect. Mrs. Gable looked at Sarah with a mixture of sadness and uncertainty in her eyes. "Sarah, dear," Mrs. Gable said softly, I don't know what to think anymore. Everyone is talking, and I can't help but wonder." Her voice trailed off, her gaze fixed on the floor. Sarah's heart sank. She understood Mrs. Gable's confusion and pain, but the unspoken accusation still stung. She looked Mrs. Gable in the eye and said, with unwavering sincerity, "Mrs. Gable, I promise you, I had nothing to do with your missing ring. I would never do anything to hurt you or any of the residents here. This whole situation makes me very sad." Mrs. Peterson, witnessing the exchange, stepped forward and placed a comforting hand on Mrs. Gable's arm. "Mrs. Gable, I know Sarah. She is one of the most honest and caring people I know. I truly believe she would never do something like this." Mrs. Gable looked from Sarah to Mrs. Peterson, her expression softening. She wanted to believe them, but the doubt still lingered in her mind. The missing ring had created a wedge between them, a shadow of suspicion that threatened to tarnish their friendship. Sarah knew that she had to find a way to clear her name and restore Mrs. Gable's trust, not just for herself, but for the well-being of Sunny Meadows. Mr. Thompson, after careful consideration and a meeting with the residents' council, announced that security cameras would be installed in the main hallways, the dining room, and the activity room. He understood the residents' concerns about privacy, but he assured them that the cameras were solely for the purpose of finding the ring and ensuring the safety of everyone at Sunny Meadows. He also stated that the footage would only be reviewed by him and Mrs. Peterson, and only in connection with the investigation. The installation of the cameras was met with a mixture of relief and apprehension. Some residents felt safer knowing that there was an extra layer of security, while others worried about being watched. Mrs. Gable, though initially hesitant, ultimately agreed that it was the best course of action. She desperately wanted her ring back, and she hoped that the cameras would help to solve the mystery. Emily, the cleaning lady who had been unfairly suspected, felt a surge of relief. She hoped that the cameras would clear her name and prove her innocence. She had always been honest and hardworking, and the accusations had been deeply upsetting. Sarah, too, felt a glimmer of hope. She believed that the cameras would reveal the truth and exonerate her from any wrongdoing. She continued to perform her duties with her usual dedication and kindness, despite the lingering suspicion. She knew that actions spoke louder than words, and she was determined to show everyone that she was trustworthy and caring. The cameras were installed over a weekend, and by Monday morning, Sunny Meadows was under surveillance. Small, discreet cameras were mounted in the corners of the rooms, their lenses silently recording everything that happened within their view. Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Peterson set up a monitoring station in Mr. Thompson's office, where they could review the footage. The first few days of surveillance yielded nothing of interest. The cameras captured the daily routines of Sunny Meadows, residents chatting, playing games, eating meals, and participating in activities. There were no signs of suspicious behavior or any clues about the missing ring. But Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Peterson were patient. They knew that they had to be thorough and persistent if they wanted to solve the mystery. They spent hours reviewing the footage, paying close attention to every detail. They were determined to find the truth, no matter how long it took. The atmosphere at Sunny Meadows remained tense, but there was a sense of anticipation, a feeling that the answer to the mystery was just around the corner, waiting to be revealed by the watchful eyes of the security cameras. Days turned into nights as Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Peterson tirelessly reviewed the camera footage. They fast-forwarded, rewound, and zoomed in on countless scenes, their eyes scanning every detail for any sign of the missing ring. The monotony of the task was grueling, but they remained determined to find the truth. They focused particularly on the footage from the day the ring disappeared, paying close attention to anyone who had been in Mrs. Gable's room or near her belongings. They watched Emily cleaning, Sarah assisting Mrs. Gable with her medication, and several other staff members going about their daily routines. But nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Just as they were beginning to feel discouraged, Mr. Thompson noticed something peculiar in the footage from the activity room. It was a clip from the afternoon of the bingo game, the day Mrs. Gable realized her ring was missing. Mrs. Gable's nephew, David, had come to visit her that day. In the footage, David was seen talking to Mrs. Gable near the refreshment table. As Mrs. Gable turned to reach for a cup of tea, David glanced around nervously, as if checking to see if anyone was watching. Then, he reached into Mrs. Gable's purse, which was sitting on the table beside her, and quickly slipped something into his pocket. Mr. Thompson paused the footage and zoomed in on David's hand. The image was grainy, but it appeared that he had taken something small and shiny from Mrs. Gable's purse. Mr. Thompson's heart began to race. Could this be it? He and Mrs. Peterson replayed the clip several times, scrutinizing every detail. They were convinced that David had taken something from Mrs. Gable's purse, and it was highly likely that it was her missing ring. They immediately contacted the police and shared the footage with them. The police agreed that the evidence was compelling and promised to investigate further. The news of the discovery spread quickly through Sunny Meadows. Emily, the cleaning lady, was overjoyed to hear that she had been cleared of suspicion. Sarah, too, felt a wave of relief wash over her. The truth was finally coming to light. Mrs. Gable, however, was devastated. She couldn't believe that her own nephew, someone she had always trusted and loved, could have stolen her precious ring. The betrayal cut deep, adding another layer of sadness to the already difficult situation. The revelation from the security camera footage had cracked the case wide open, but it also opened a Pandora's box of emotions at Sunny Meadows. The police arrived at Sunny Meadows the following morning and spoke with Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Peterson, reviewing the security footage themselves. After confirming the evidence, they proceeded to contact David and request an interview. David, initially denying any involvement, became increasingly nervous as the police presented him with the video evidence. He finally confessed to taking the ring, admitting that he was in desperate need of money due to some bad investments. He claimed he had intended to sell the ring and pay back his debts, but he knew that what he did was wrong. He expressed deep remorse for betraying his aunt's trust and causing so much distress at Sunny Meadows. With David's confession secured, the police recovered the ring from a pawn shop where he had sold it. It was carefully packaged and returned to Sunny Meadows, where it was presented to Mrs. Gable. Mrs. Gable was overjoyed to have her ring back, but her happiness was tempered by the disappointment and sadness she felt towards her nephew. She couldn't understand how someone she loved and trusted could have betrayed her in such a way. Despite her hurt feelings, Mrs. Gable decided to visit David in jail. She wanted to understand why he had done what he did and to let him know that she still cared about him, even though she was deeply hurt. During their visit, David apologized profusely for his actions. He explained his financial struggles and how he had made a terrible mistake in judgment. He begged for her forgiveness, promising to make amends for his wrongdoing. Mrs. Gable listened patiently, her heart aching for her nephew. She knew that he had made a bad choice, but she also believed that he was genuinely remorseful. She told him that she forgave him, but that he would have to face the consequences of his actions. She also encouraged him to learn from his mistakes and to make better choices in the future. The visit was emotional and difficult, but it brought a sense of closure to Mrs. Gable. She had her ring back, and she had offered forgiveness to her nephew, even though the pain of his betrayal would likely linger for some time. With the ring recovered and the truth revealed, Sunny Meadows began to heal, the cloud of suspicion slowly lifting, replaced by a renewed sense of trust and community. With David facing charges for his crime, the focus shifted back to Sunny Meadows and the lingering effects of the accusations. Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Peterson knew that it was essential to address the hurt feelings and restore trust among the residents and staff. They organized a community meeting where they publicly apologized to Emily for the unfair suspicion she had endured. They praised her for her hard work and dedication and assured her that they valued her as a member of the Sunny Meadows family. Emily, overwhelmed by the support and apology, accepted their words with grace and gratitude. Next, they turned their attention to Sarah, the nurse who had also been wrongly accused. Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Peterson acknowledged the pain and distress that the accusations had caused her and expressed their sincere regret for the way she had been treated. They emphasized Sarah's unwavering commitment to her patients and her exceptional caregiving skills. To further demonstrate their support for Sarah, Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Peterson organized a special ceremony in her honor. They invited all the residents, staff members, and even some of Sarah's family and friends. During the ceremony, Mr. Thompson delivered a heartfelt speech praising Sarah's character and her contributions to Sunny Meadows. He presented her with a plaque recognizing her dedication and compassion, and the residents gave her a standing ovation. Sarah was deeply touched by the outpouring of love and support. She had felt isolated and hurt during the investigation, but the ceremony made her realize how much she was valued and appreciated by the Sunny Meadows community. She thanked everyone for their kindness and forgiveness, and she vowed to continue providing the best possible care to her patients. The public apologies and the ceremony in Sarah's honor helped to heal the wounds that had been inflicted by the accusations. The residents and staff began to rebuild their relationships, and the atmosphere at Sunny Meadows gradually returned to its former warmth and cheerfulness. Mrs. Gable, in particular, made a special effort to show her appreciation for Sarah and Emily, expressing her deep regret for having doubted them. She understood that everyone had made mistakes, but she was grateful for their forgiveness and their continued friendship. The incident with the missing ring had been a difficult and painful experience, but it ultimately brought the Sunny Meadows community closer together. They had learned the importance of trust, forgiveness, and understanding, and they were determined to move forward with a renewed sense of unity and compassion. As the days turned into weeks, life at Sunny Meadows settled into a comfortable rhythm once more. The residents resumed their daily activities with renewed enthusiasm, and the staff continued to provide compassionate care. Mrs. Gable, with her precious ring safely back on her finger, felt a sense of peace and contentment. One sunny afternoon, Sarah was tending to the flowers in the garden outside Mrs. Gable's window when Mrs. Gable called out to her. "Sarah, dear, could you come in for a moment? I have something I want to show you," Mrs. Gable said, her voice warm and inviting. Sarah smiled and entered Mrs. Gable's room. Mrs. Gable was sitting in her favorite armchair, a small wooden box resting on her lap. "Sarah, I want to thank you again for everything you've done," Mrs. Gable said, her eyes twinkling. "You were so kind and supportive during that difficult time, and I'll never forget it." She opened the wooden box and took out a beautiful, hand-painted porcelain doll. The doll was dressed in a delicate lace gown and had long, flowing hair. "This doll was my mother's," Mrs. Gable explained. "She gave it to me when I was a little girl. It's very special to me." She held out the doll to Sarah. "I want you to have it, Sarah. As a token of my gratitude and friendship." Sarah was speechless. She had always admired Mrs. Gable's doll, but she never imagined that Mrs. Gable would give it to her. "Mrs. Gable, I can't accept this," Sarah said, her voice choked with emotion. "It's too precious." "Nonsense, dear," Mrs. Gable replied. "I want you to have it. It will bring you joy and remind you of our friendship." Sarah hesitated for a moment, then gently took the doll from Mrs. Gable's hands. "Thank you, Mrs. Gable," she said, tears welling up in her eyes. "I'll treasure it always." From that day forward, Sarah kept the doll on her bedside table, a constant reminder of Mrs. Gable's kindness and generosity. The doll became a symbol of their friendship, a testament to the power of forgiveness and understanding. And at Sunny Meadows, the story of the missing ring served as a reminder that even in the face of adversity, hope, trust, and compassion can always prevail. The community had learned a valuable lesson, and they were determined to carry it with them, creating a haven of love and support for everyone who called Sunny Meadows home. The missing ring, though a source of initial turmoil, ultimately strengthened the bonds between the residents and staff, leaving a lasting legacy of unity and understanding. Months later, David's trial concluded. He pleaded guilty to theft and, taking into account his remorse and the return of the ring, received a lighter sentence than initially expected. He was ordered to complete community service and attend counseling sessions to address his financial issues and prevent him from making similar mistakes in the future. Upon his release, David reached out to Mrs. Gable, expressing his desire to make amends for his actions. Mrs. Gable, ever forgiving, agreed to meet with him. During their meeting, David apologized sincerely for the pain he had caused her and the entire Sunny Meadows community. He explained that he had been struggling with gambling debts and had made a desperate decision in a moment of weakness. He understood that his actions were inexcusable, and he vowed to dedicate his life to earning back her trust and making her proud. Mrs. Gable listened patiently, her heart filled with a mixture of sadness and hope. She told David that she appreciated his apology and that she believed he was capable of change. She encouraged him to focus on rebuilding his life and making amends for his mistakes. As part of his community service, David began volunteering at Sunny Meadows. He helped with various tasks, such as gardening, cleaning, and assisting with activities. He treated the residents with kindness and respect, and he quickly became a valued member of the Sunny Meadows community. Initially, some of the residents were hesitant to trust David, given his past actions. However, as they witnessed his genuine remorse and his dedication to making amends, they began to warm up to him. They saw that he was truly trying to change, and they admired his courage and determination. Sarah and Emily, in particular, were impressed by David's transformation. They recognized that everyone makes mistakes, and they were willing to give him a second chance. They became David's friends and supporters, encouraging him to stay on the right path. Over time, David gradually earned back the trust of Mrs. Gable and the Sunny Meadows community. He became a role model for others, demonstrating that it is possible to overcome adversity and make amends for past mistakes. The story of David's transformation became an inspiration to everyone at Sunny Meadows, a testament to the power of forgiveness, redemption, and the unwavering spirit of the human heart. The shadow of the missing ring had faded completely, replaced by a bright light of hope and renewed faith in the goodness of humanity. And Sunny Meadows continued to thrive as a beacon of love, compassion, and understanding. Years passed, and Sunny Meadows continued to be a place of joy, laughter, and unwavering support. Mrs. Gable, surrounded by her friends and the caring staff, lived a full and happy life. She cherished every moment, knowing that she was loved and valued. Sarah, now a senior nurse, remained a pillar of strength and compassion at Sunny Meadows. She continued to provide exceptional care to the residents, always going above and beyond to make them feel comfortable and loved. She never forgot the lessons she had learned during the ordeal with the missing ring, and she always strived to be a beacon of trust and understanding. Emily, the cleaning lady, blossomed into a confident and respected member of the Sunny Meadows team. She proved that everyone deserves a second chance, and she became a source of inspiration to others. She always greeted the residents with a warm smile and a kind word, brightening their days with her cheerful presence. David, after completing his community service and counseling, turned his life around completely. He found a stable job, paid off his debts, and dedicated himself to helping others. He remained a regular volunteer at Sunny Meadows, where he was welcomed with open arms. He became a symbol of hope and redemption, demonstrating that it is never too late to change and make amends for past mistakes. One day, Mrs. Gable gathered Sarah, Emily, and David in her room. She wanted to share a special message with them, a message that she hoped would inspire them to continue living lives of purpose and compassion. "My dears," she said, her voice filled with emotion, "the story of the missing ring taught us many valuable lessons. It showed us the importance of trust, forgiveness, and understanding. It reminded us that even in the face of adversity, hope and compassion can always prevail." She paused, her eyes twinkling. "But most importantly," she continued, "it taught us that we are all connected, that we are all part of something bigger than ourselves. And that by working together, supporting each other, and forgiving each other, we can create a world filled with love, peace, and understanding." Her words resonated deeply with Sarah, Emily, and David. They knew that Mrs. Gable was right, and they vowed to carry her message with them always. They understood that the true treasure in life is not material possessions, but the bonds of love and friendship that connect us all. And at Sunny Meadows, those bonds were stronger than ever before, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The tale of the missing ring transformed into a cherished memory, a reminder of the importance of unity, compassion, and the unwavering belief in the goodness of humanity. Sunny Meadows stood as a shining example of a community where everyone was valued, respected, and loved, a true haven of peace and understanding. And so, Sunny Meadows continued its legacy of care, community, and compassion, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of forgiveness. But the story of Mrs. Gable's ring wasn't quite over. One day, a young girl named Lily came to visit her grandmother, Mrs. Davis, at Sunny Meadows. Lily was a bright and curious child with a love for stories and a keen eye for detail. While exploring the common room, Lily noticed a small, framed photograph on a side table. It was a picture of Mrs. Gable when she was a young woman, wearing a beautiful ring on her finger. Lily, fascinated by the ring, asked her grandmother about it. Mrs. Davis, who knew the story of the missing ring well, shared it with Lily. Lily listened intently, her eyes wide with wonder. "Wow, Grandma," Lily said, "that's an amazing story. But I wonder, what happened to the pawn shop where David sold the ring?" Mrs. Davis chuckled. "Well, dear, I heard that the pawn shop went out of business a few years ago. The owner retired, and the shop closed down. Lily's eyes lit up. "Grandma, do you think there's a chance that the ring could still be there, hidden away somewhere?" Mrs. Davis smiled. "Lily, that's a very imaginative thought, but I doubt it. The pawn shop was probably cleaned out and sold long ago." But Lily was not convinced. She had a feeling that the ring was still out there, waiting to be found. She decided to do some research and see if she could uncover any clues about the pawn shop's fate. With her grandmother's help, Lily searched the internet for information about the pawn shop. She discovered that the building had been sold to a developer who planned to build a new apartment complex on the site. Lily, determined to solve the mystery, convinced her parents to take her to the site of the former pawn shop. The building had already been demolished, and construction was underway. Lily, undeterred, asked the construction foreman if she could look around the site. The foreman, amused by her enthusiasm, agreed to let her explore the area. Lily spent hours searching through the rubble, her eyes scanning every nook and cranny. Just as she was about to give up, she spotted something shiny glinting in the sunlight. It was a small, metal box, buried beneath a pile of bricks. With trembling hands, Lily opened the box. Inside, nestled on a bed of velvet, was Mrs. Gable's missing ring. Lily couldn't believe her eyes. She had found it. She carefully took the ring and rushed back to Sunny Meadows to share her incredible discovery. The story of the missing ring had come full circle, thanks to the curiosity and determination of a young girl who believed in the power of hope and the magic of happy endings. The ring, once lost and feared gone forever, had found its way back to where it belonged, a symbol of enduring love and the unwavering spirit of Sunny Meadows. Lily, beaming with pride, presented the ring to Mrs. Gable, who gasped with joy. Tears streamed down her face as she held the precious heirloom in her hands once more. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated happiness, a testament to the enduring power of hope and the unwavering spirit of Sunny Meadows. The news of Lily's discovery spread like wildfire through Sunny Meadows. The residents and staff gathered in the common room to celebrate, their hearts filled with joy and gratitude. Mrs. Gable, radiant with happiness, thanked Lily for her incredible act of kindness and presented her with a special gift, a framed photograph of herself wearing the ring when she was a young woman. "Lily, dear," Mrs. Gable said, her voice trembling with emotion, "you are a true hero. You have brought so much joy to all of us at Sunny Meadows. This photograph is a reminder of the power of hope, the importance of never giving up, and the magic of happy endings." Lily, overwhelmed by the praise and appreciation, blushed with pride. She knew that she had done something special, something that would be remembered for years to come. As the celebration continued, Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Peterson took the opportunity to reflect on the events that had unfolded since the ring first went missing. They realized that the incident had taught them valuable lessons about the importance of trust, communication, and community. They decided to implement new policies and procedures at Sunny Meadows to ensure that such a situation would never happen again. They organized regular meetings with the residents and staff to foster open communication and address any concerns. They also implemented a system for tracking and securing valuable items, ensuring that the residents' belongings were always safe and protected. Furthermore, Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Peterson recognized the importance of celebrating the positive aspects of life at Sunny Meadows. They organized regular events and activities to promote joy, laughter, and connection among the residents and staff. They wanted to create an environment where everyone felt valued, respected, and loved. And so, Sunny Meadows continued to thrive as a beacon of hope, compassion, and understanding. The story of the missing ring, once a source of turmoil and suspicion, had transformed into a cherished memory, a reminder of the importance of unity, forgiveness, and the unwavering belief in the goodness of humanity. The community had learned valuable lessons, and they were determined to carry them forward, creating a haven of love and support for everyone who called Sunny Meadows home. The tale of the missing ring, ultimately, became a symbol of the enduring spirit of Sunny Meadows, a testament to the power of hope, and the magic of happy endings that can be found even in the most unexpected of places. The sun continued to shine brightly on Sunny Meadows, illuminating the lives of all who lived and worked there, filling their days with joy, laughter, and unwavering love. The happiness at Sunny Meadows was infectious. The residents, staff, and even visitors felt the warmth of the rediscovered heirloom, a symbol of hope and resilience. As Mrs. Gable admired the sparkling blue stone, she couldn't help but think of her grandmother and the love that had been passed down through generations. Lily, basking in the glow of her accomplishment, spent the afternoon playing bingo with Mrs. Davis and the other residents. She learned about their lives, their stories, and their dreams. She realized that Sunny Meadows was more than just a retirement home, it was a community of people who cared about each other and supported each other through thick and thin. Sarah, watching the scene unfold, felt a sense of peace and contentment wash over her. The initial hurt and suspicion had long since faded, replaced by a deep appreciation for the Sunny Meadows community and the unwavering support she had received. She was grateful for the opportunity to have learned and grown from the experience, and she was determined to continue providing compassionate care to the residents. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over Sunny Meadows, Mr. Thompson gathered the residents and staff in the garden. He wanted to share a special announcement with them, a final chapter in the story of the missing ring. "My dear friends," Mr. Thompson said, his voice filled with emotion, "I have an important announcement to make. Thanks to Lily's incredible discovery, we have decided to create a special fund in memory of Mrs. Gable's ring." He paused, his eyes twinkling. This fund will be used to support various activities and programs at Sunny Meadows, ensuring that our residents have access to the best possible care and opportunities to live fulfilling lives. The residents and staff erupted in applause, their hearts filled with gratitude. They knew that the fund would make a significant difference in the lives of everyone at Sunny Meadows. Mr. Thompson continued, "We will also be establishing a scholarship in Lily's name. This scholarship will be awarded to a deserving young student who demonstrates a commitment to community service and a passion for helping others." Lily, overwhelmed by the honor, blushed with pride. She knew that the scholarship would provide opportunities for young people to make a positive impact on the world. And so, the story of the missing ring came to a close, leaving a lasting legacy of hope, compassion, and community at Sunny Meadows. The ring, once a source of turmoil and suspicion, had become a symbol of unity, forgiveness, and the unwavering belief in the goodness of humanity. Sunny Meadows continued to thrive as a beacon of love and support, a place where everyone was valued, respected, and cherished. The sun shone brightly on Sunny Meadows, illuminating the lives of all who lived and worked there, filling their days with joy, laughter, and unwavering love. The tale of the missing ring, ultimately, became a timeless story of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit. The Sunny Meadows Ring of Hope Fund and the Lilly Scholarship became cornerstones of the community, supporting countless residents and students for years to come. The story of the missing ring was retold countless times, becoming a cherished legend passed down through generations of Sunny Meadows residents. One year, the Lilly Scholarship was awarded to a young woman named Maria, who dreamed of becoming a nurse. Maria had grown up in a low-income neighborhood and had faced many challenges in her life. But she had never given up on her dreams. She was determined to make a difference in the world, and she believed that nursing was her calling. Thanks to the Lilly Scholarship, Maria was able to attend nursing school and pursue her passion. She excelled in her studies and quickly became known for her compassion and dedication. She volunteered at Sunny Meadows during her breaks from school, providing comfort and care to the residents. Maria was deeply inspired by the story of the missing ring and the lessons it had taught the Sunny Meadows community. She admired Sarah's unwavering commitment to her patients and Emily's resilience in the face of adversity. She also learned about David's transformation and his dedication to making amends for his past mistakes. When Maria graduated from nursing school, she knew exactly where she wanted to work, Sunny Meadows. She wanted to give back to the community that had supported her and inspired her to pursue her dreams. Maria joined the Sunny Meadows staff as a registered nurse, bringing her compassion, her skills, and her unwavering commitment to providing exceptional care. She quickly became a valued member of the team, earning the respect and admiration of her colleagues and the residents. One day, Maria was tending to Mrs. Gable when Mrs. Gable reached out and took her hand. "Maria, dear," Mrs. Gable said, her eyes twinkling, "you are a true blessing to Sunny Meadows. You remind me so much of Sarah when she was a young nurse. You have a kind heart, a gentle touch, and a passion for helping others." Maria smiled, her heart filled with gratitude. She knew that she had found her purpose in life, and she was determined to make a difference in the lives of the residents at Sunny Meadows. And so, the legacy of the missing ring continued to grow, inspiring generations of caregivers and community members to live lives of purpose, compassion, and unwavering love. Sunny Meadows stood as a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, a place where everyone was valued, respected, and cherished. The sun shone brightly on Sunny Meadows, illuminating the lives of all who lived and worked there, filling their days with joy, laughter, and unwavering love. The tale of the missing ring, ultimately, became a timeless story of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of love and community. The ring, though initially lost, had ultimately brought Sunny Meadows closer together, creating a legacy of compassion that would last for generations to come. The story of the missing ring became a beloved tale at Sunny Meadows, told and retold to each new resident and staff member. It was a reminder that even in moments of darkness and uncertainty, hope, forgiveness, and compassion could always prevail. Maria, inspired by the story, often shared it with her patients, reminding them of the importance of staying positive and never giving up on their dreams. She also used the story to teach her own children about the value of honesty, trust, and empathy. One day, Maria's daughter, Emily, came to visit her at Sunny Meadows. Emily was a bright and curious young girl, just like Lily had been years ago. While exploring the garden, Emily noticed a small, forgotten corner filled with weeds and overgrown bushes. Emily, inspired by the story of the missing ring and Lily's determination, decided to transform the neglected corner into a beautiful flower garden. She spent hours weeding, planting, and watering the flowers, her heart filled with joy and purpose. The residents of Sunny Meadows were delighted by Emily's efforts. They offered her encouragement and support, sharing their gardening tips and helping her to care for the flowers. As the garden began to bloom, it became a symbol of hope and renewal, a testament to the power of community and the transformative effects of kindness. The residents gathered in the garden each day, enjoying the beauty of the flowers and the companionship of each other. Emily's garden became a cherished place at Sunny Meadows, a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can make a big difference in the world. It was a living testament to the legacy of the missing ring, a story that continued to inspire generations of Sunny Meadows residents and staff. And so, the story of the missing ring lived on, woven into the fabric of Sunny Meadows, a constant reminder of the importance of unity, compassion, and the unwavering belief in the goodness of humanity. Sunny Meadows continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and love, illuminating the lives of all who called it home. The tale of the missing ring, ultimately, became a timeless story of resilience, forgiveness, and the enduring power of the human spirit, a legacy that would last for generations to come. The sun continued to set and rise over Sunny Meadows, painting the sky with colors of hope, joy, and unwavering love, forever etching the story of the missing ring into the hearts of all who knew it.